Hi guys, welcome to October's budget breakdown. But before we get into October's budget breakdown, I kind of want to quickly reintroduce myself because I noticed I have a few hundred more subscribers. So thank you and welcome. And I'll share a little bit about why I do what I do. So hi, I am Deidre. I am the face of OU Budget. And I started this YouTube channel because over on TikTok and Instagram, people were asking me if I had a YouTube channel. So I thought to myself, okay, what kind of content do I want to create? And so here I do kind of behind the scenes of how I run this business, which you will see in my weekly vlogs. And if you are coming over from TikTok, you'll see the behind the scenes of how I make my TikTok videos as well. Also, I do budget breakdowns at the end of each month. And granted, this one's a little late. I apologize. I lost my voice and I just got it back. So the budget breakdowns was actually an idea that I got from another YouTuber who actually was the one that encouraged me to increase my income. And I'll talk more about that in a bit. And then lastly, I'll be doing sit down vlog type not vlog, but sit down budgeting type videos, kind of like what I do over on TikTok, but obviously longer form of content. Sit down type of budgeting videos, budgeting tips, things like that. So that's what I do over here on YouTube. So when I started this budgeting business, I thought to myself that I'm going to be very transparent. I thought it was very important to do so. It's something that I don't see very often. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to share my real numbers, what I make in a month, what I spend in a day, which is something that you see over on TikTok. Just like my real savings goals, things like that, my income sources. If you've been following me for a while, you will know that's what I share or have been sharing. And I feel like that's super important because I don't like gatekeepers. I don't like if you're showcasing how you're doing something successfully, it would be nice. I mean, you don't have to, but it would be nice for you to show all aspects of it so that we as the viewer can work our way to be in the position that you are if we're not yet there. You know what I mean? Because like I mentioned before, there's this YouTuber, and I'll plug her channel right here. She was making, I was watching her videos back in the day. I still watch her videos, but back in the day when I wasn't making the kind of income that I'm making right now, she was making like $17,000 a month, $18,000 a month. And she would do her budget breakdowns and showcase that. And it took watching her videos for me to realize like, oh, like you can make that kind of income. Like, not that I didn't think it was possible. It's just like, I just needed to see somebody doing that and for it to click in my head. And so I was thinking, you know what, I'm hoping that I can be that person for somebody else as well, because it's so important to be transparent and to show like what you're doing and how you got there. And I feel like that I do that successfully. So I do want to say one thing. If you feel that my content is kind of like out of reach or unrelatable to you, I really beg for you to do away with that kind of thinking, because it's not going to serve you in the long run. And this I know for a fact because I used to be in that position too, and now I'm on the other side. So I guess it's so easy for me to say that now that I'm in my position, but because I've been on both sides, I feel like I can say that and feel no way about saying that. And I just feel like if you are thinking like that, or if you're shut off to other people doing things successfully, or like you see somebody doing something successfully and you know for a fact that you would switch positions with them in a second, but you're not yet there, don't shut off thinking like, okay, this is out of reach or this is impossible. Like nobody makes that kind of money. You shouldn't be making that kind of income. That's insane. Like, do away with that thinking. It's not going to serve you and it's not going to help you build wealth in the long run if that's something that you're looking to do in the future. Because if I was shut off to the way of seeing that YouTuber making $17,000 a month, if I saw that and I was just like, that's insane, that's crazy, you know what I mean? And like left it at that, I wouldn't be where I am today, because that encouraged me to up my income, increase my income. Now that I saw that it was possible, I was like, oh, okay, this is possible. Bet, let me do this. Because when you see other people doing things successfully, and I always say success leaves clues, like I know that's like such a cliche thing to say, but success leaves clues. So if you see somebody doing something successfully, pick and choose what they're doing and see if that can be something that you can also do as well. Like, okay, I'm watching her videos. She pays herself first and she tracks her spending. Noted. Okay, I'm gonna start doing that. Oh, that guy over there, he, I don't know, found a problem in something he was using every day and he revamped it and sold it, and now he's making X amount of dollars. He's successful because he found a problem in the market and filled that problem. I have a few of those. Like, you know what? I always complain about how this product doesn't do this. Let me work on that. You know what I mean? Just like see what other people are doing and kind of like see if that can work for you as well. Because where I am right now, like I dream bigger now. Like, yes, you might be seeing me making like large sums of income, but I'm already thinking about like, okay, I want to make 6 figures a month. I see other people making 6 figures a month. I'm going to kind of see what they're doing and kind of take notes to see how I can be in that position. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm trying to see if I have anything left to say before I get into the actual budget breakdown. And I think that's about it. Okay, let's get over to the budget breakdown. Okay, so I have my trusty iPad right here with my Google Sheets template. Link in the bio if you want a copy of this template. Okay, so for the month of October, before I even get into how I earned my income in the month of October, I should probably share about my income sources again. So I have, and I wrote it down because not that I couldn't remember. That sounds so like, oh, I can't remember my income sources. Not like that. It's just, I have 11 sources of income, but about 8 of those pay me on a monthly basis. And the other 8, 9, 10, 11, the other 3, I don't see, or I don't touch. Like it does stuff in the back end. I don't see it in my monthly budget that pays me, if that makes any sense. So let me run through this because I don't want this video to be too long, to be honest, and it's already feeling like it's kind of long. So income source number 1, my business, OU budget. So we make income 3 kinds of ways at this moment. By the end of the year, we hope to tack on 2 more ways. Currently, it's digital products, which is selling budgeting templates and savings trackers and year-to-date dashboards. I don't know why I said it like that. Number 2, brand deals. Brands pay me to do TikToks for their TikTok page and their Instagram page. That's income source number 2. Income source number 3, affiliate links. Anytime I plug a product in my TikTok video, or say link in my bio, that's anything except the digital templates, and they use my code, I get paid from that. So 3 income sources right there. Number 4 and 5, I broke up, even though they kind of go together, but I'll explain why I break them up. I bartend. So I bartend anything. I'm not allergic to making money. I will make any kind of money, not any kind of money. I will make legal money, nothing too shady. I have morals. Bartend. So I'll bartend weddings, corporate events, club events. I don't care. I'll bartend. So we make money via tips and hourly. So why I broke up the 2 is because I receive tips, and sometimes I'll work a corporate event or a wedding and I won't receive tips, but it'll show up on my paycheck. So that's why I broke up the 2, because even though the 2 go together, one can exist without the other. So obviously for hourly, I receive a T4 for that. And if you're American, that's the same as receiving a W2. And then tips is tips. You know what I mean? Cash. Income source number 6, acting. I'm an actor. I feel like some people call me, not that they call me a theater kid, but I notice that I have very theater energy sometimes. I grew up doing theater. But acting income. So if I book a job, if I audition for, say, a commercial and I don't book it, but I get a second callback, I still get paid for that. So that's acting income, and also residuals. So I put the acting income, even though that's source number 6, I put residuals and acting income in one. So I don't break those up, even though on a monthly basis, I do see some form of acting money most of the times. Even if I don't book a show, I usually do like TV shows, and sometimes commercials. But even if I don't book a show, I still make residual income. For example, I'm looking at my October budget, and I made acting income from a TV show I did probably 10 years ago. So you do receive residual income. Source number 7, and this one I was unsure of including it, but I do receive income if you're a Canadian. I think if you're Canadian, you receive this as well. The CRA, so the Canada Revenue Agency, pays you depending on your income or which incentive it falls under. The climate control, Canada Pro, Canada GST, HST, they pay you every once in a while for these types of incentives. So you will receive income from that. It's considered income. They consider it income, so I'm considering it income. Source number 8. So source number 8, 9, and 10. Source number 9, 10, and 11, because we just finished. Oh no, we didn't even say number 8. Okay, source number 8 is interest. So I hold my emergency fund, my sinking fund, in a high yield savings account that pays me interest each month. And like that can be anything from, $300 a year, $500 a year. I haven't calculated it all. I should, because I'm really interested to know. But I get paid interest for holding my money in a high interest savings account, high yield savings account, as some may know it to be. So that's income source number 8. And I just let that, I don't pull that money out and use it in my budget, but I let that collect itself in my savings accounts. Income source number 9, 10, 11. These ones I don't see monthly, like I don't extract the income from that and use it to spend, but it does make money in the back end. So income source number 9, investments. So sorry, I thought I wasn't recording for a second. Income source number 9, my investments. So I make money through dividends, and that pays me monthly, quarterly, depending on what holdings I have, what stocks I have, what ETFs I have. So that does that on the back end. It does pay me monthly, but I leave it in that account. I don't extract it to fund my spending monthly. Number 10, real estate. So I invest in properties via Addy Invest. And that's kind of like a hands-off way of investing in real estate. It's real properties here in where I live. And you see a return on your investment at a later date. And that is like how I invest in real estate. And then step number 11, and income stream number 11 is I invest in companies. So I invest in companies through a site called Front Funder. And I usually try to pick companies that interest me, that I love, that I can see growth in. For example, like one of them I invest in, I now see them in the grocery store. It's a beverage product. And before they even got in the store, like I got in really quickly, like right at the start, because it's something that I thought, like, you know what, this is like the next Red Bull type of thing. And like, I won't mention what it is, but me even saying that, you probably can guess what it is. But now I see them in grocery stores, and I'm glad that I am a shareholder in the early stages, because who knows what it could grow up to be, kind of like Uber. It would be amazing if I got into Uber early, you know what I mean? And then it's blowing up to what it is now. So that's my 11 sources of income. Circling back to this brand, I hope to include 2 more, which would be 1213, which would be my blog. So I'm starting a blog, so AdSense revenue, YouTube, revenue off of YouTube, and speaking engagements. That would be number, 14, there's unlimited amounts of income you can receive. So now that we got that out the way, let's get into finally this budget breakdown. Okay, not me having written down my sources of income and forgetting one more. I can't believe I forgot this one. So no, I don't have 11 streams of income. I have 12 streams of income. And the one that I'm missing is surveys. I do surveys on Adapole. And I talk about this all the time because I do surveys to fund my Starbucks habit, among other things. And so I make money doing that. So now let's get to the budget breakdown. So for the month of October, I brought in a total amount of earned income of $30,904.40. But I also rolled over $177 to pay my dentist appointment. and I do this because I like to hold the upfront costs in a sinking fund, which earns me compound interest because I have benefits. Again, I'm an actor, so I'm in the union. We get benefits, so I have to pay the upfront cost for things like dentist, chiropractor, massage therapy, things like that. And then I get reimbursed a portion of that at a later date, usually like 4 or 5 days later. And I like doing it this way because, like I've mentioned before, I have an irregular income. So I would hate to have like a lower income month and not be able to use my benefits because I can't fit it in my budget somehow, or like I have savings goals and like that will eat up a large portion of my income. For example, like car maintenance and stuff like that. I wouldn't want to budget that in. I'd rather just keep it in a savings account, a high yield interest savings account that pays me so that I can hold it there for the time being and then use that money and then just pay myself back. So that means that I have a total available to spend. My total available to spend will be $31,081.40, but I'll just talk about the total earned income. But if you're doing the math, you'll know that 177 brings it to $31,081.40. Okay, so I always start at savings first, no matter what or how much income I make for that month. I have my bare minimum savings numbers that I have to hit no matter what. And I do this 2 ways. So I could either do fill in my budgeted numbers or like my minimums that I'm willing to save, and then pay my bills, then pay my expenses, and then go back and pad my savings. Or I can do it this way where I see that I made $30,000 this month and I only need $4,000 to live off of, like $2,000 for bills, $2,000 for expenses. So the remaining $26,000 will go to savings. So I do it either way, whatever looks like easy to do, I'll do it that way. And that way works for me. I like saving first and then allocating the rest to bills and expenses after, because I noticed that I save way more money when I do it that way, because I've tried the other way, which is like paying my bills and then filling out my expenses and then saving what's left over. And I just save way more money if I prioritize paying myself first rather than paying myself last. So for savings, we saved $26,555.81. And I'll put on the screen how that's broken up into, but that is my savings. I don't know what side it'll be on, but whatever. Next for bills. So for bills, we spent $2,019.60. And that is broken up again on the screen: rent, parking, Rogers, Peloton. Rogers is like my internet and cell phone, and my hydro. Actually, very soon I'm going to be taking out my internet and maybe my Rogers, my internet and my cell phone, and making that a business expense. So that will make my personal monthly budget a lot less. But I'm still going to figure out how to do that in terms of if I even need to do that, or if I can just reimburse myself, or if I just should put it on like my business account or my business credit card. I'll figure that out, but that's what that is. And then next, the expenses, which is the most important part. So for my daily expenses, if you've been watching my TikTok, I actually have made a TikTok about every single one of these purchases under these categories. So check that out if you're really curious to see if what I say is what I did. For example, like groceries, I spent $383.81 on groceries. I have a few grocery vlogs on that. Gas, I spent $225.02. Dog care, I spent $109.59. Personal care, I spent $408.86. Takeout, I spent $126.92. Social, I spent $213.14. What's next? For fees and miscellaneous, I'll explain this a little further because it's so vague. I spent $104.50, and that went to going to the dry cleaners, going to IKEA because I broke a mirror, and what else? And getting a Halloween costume. Again, if you want to check out that video, it's quite clever. So that was for fees and miscellaneous. Subscriptions, I spent $120 getting a Netflix gift card because I don't like paying monthly payments. I like to keep my bills lower. And Netflix doesn't allow you to pay for the year. I like paying all my subscriptions up for the year because, again, a regular income. I don't want a large portion of my money to be going to things that I don't need to be paying monthly. Plus I get discounts. I made a whole video about that. So that is for subscriptions. For gifts, I spent $187.15 on gifts. And my benefits, again, $177 to get my teeth cleaned. I roll that in from my savings transfer from my high yield savings account. And that is it. So that's all I spent in the month of October. I like doing a zero-based budget. And also I did roll over. I had $450 remaining at the end of the month, and that I rolled over into the next month. So that is it. You know what? I always share my savings percentages because if you've been following me for a while, you know that I always say if you're new to budgeting or if you're reintroducing yourself to budgeting again, you should always start. Your number one thing is you should always start with a reason why, because that will get you to continue saving month after month rather than falling off. And my particular reason why is I like to save a certain percentage of my income each month, and that's only possible if I do a budget. So I always share my savings percentages at the end of every closeout video or closing month-end closing video. And so we're going to talk about that. So we saved 86.7%. Our bills was 6.6% of my income, and my expenses was 6.7% of my income. And it's interesting because no matter where my income lies, like I said before, I have an irregular income. My income can go from $4,000 a month to $40,000 a month. No matter what range that I'm in, I will still live within my means. I don't inflate my lifestyle. Like everything pretty much stays the same. And I still feel like that I live more than comfortable, even no matter like what my income is. And also I will always continue to be transparent on this. Like even if I was making $4,000 in this month, I would still share like what my savings rate was, what I spent, things like that. Because I think it's important. And it's so interesting to see, because I like seeing how other people spend their money and how other people save no matter what range of income they're in. So I'm taking like a quick glance of my November, because we're like more than halfway through the month of November. I think there's like 13 days left in this month. And it's interesting because I can already see that like where I stand right now, obviously it might not be where I end, but where I stand right now, I did make less money than I did last month in the month of October, but I still am seeing that I'm saving way more. Like so far, it says my savings is 87.9% in the month of November. So that's more than what I saved in the month of October, and I made less money. So that's quite interesting. It goes to show you that like, if you keep your lifestyle the same, obviously granted, like if I was making $2,000 a month, I wouldn't be able to save 80% or more than 80%. But my goal is always to save 80% of my income each month. And as you get into the higher income levels, it's interesting that your savings rate or your savings percentages can pretty much stay the same even if you make a few $1,000s less. So that's interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I like looking at and like reviewing my month before because it tells me a lot. It actually shows me like what I spent money on that was important to me, and I'll continue to do so. Like for example, I see that my personal care category was up in the higher numbers. It was the most expensive thing I spent on, and I was happy to do so. I see that I made like a few Sephora orders, and I went to North Medical Spa, like things like that are important to me. And so I'll continue to prioritize what's important to me. And I don't feel bad for doing so because I know that I've hit my goal percentage of savings. So there's no like regret here. I like looking over my month and seeing how I feel. Like, okay, you know what? I see that I spent $383 on groceries, and I usually spend $400. Like I spent less, so maybe next month I'll budget a little less in the grocery category because I didn't spend that much in this category. Or for example, gas, I usually budget $200 for gas, but I see that I spent $225. I'll probably like bump that up a little bit in the next month. Things like that. I like to look at my past behavior and determine my future spending based off of that. I think it's really interesting to do. And if this is not something that you do, I encourage you to give it a try. Like if you don't budget, or if you don't at least track your spending, try it out for like a month or two. Just to see where your money's going. Because yeah, saving is good and like fun. Well, I think saving is fun. But yeah, you should be saving your money. But like sometimes when you don't know where your money is going, you don't realize like how much more you can actually save. So give it a try. But that's about it. This is October's budget breakdown. I apologize that this is so long. And yeah, I think that's about it. I don't think I have anything else left to say about this. But yeah, I love budgeting. It's so much fun. Anyway, have a great day. Bye. Thanks for watching.